All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the break. I hope you stuck around after the break. If you didn't stick around, well, piss off. I just want to just go off on a quick tangent.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of flying over the summer, and my I saw Oz the Great and Powerful. Sucked.
Right.
But then I also
Because you're trapped on an airplane. That's all you got.
Well, no, actually, I mean, yeah, look, I fly Virgin America, and they have a great choice of stuff.
Oh, nice.
But it's also free, so that's why I watch it.
Yeah.
But then I also watched Iron Man 3 and Star Trek Into Darkness again.
And?
They still suck.
Okay, fair enough.
You didn't like Iron Man 3? I
hated
thought
it,
I was
and
the
I
only
watched
one.
it again, and I hated it, and I'm sorry because I liked Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think Shane Black has a lot of good stuff about him, but I think it was an exercise in
Frivolity.
It was Lethal Weapon 5.
I did not.
I do not like it.
Did not care for it whatsoever, and I thought I was the only one. I
mean,
was bored.
That needed Joss Whedon to come in and rewrite it. It really did. But anyway, and Star Trek Into Darkness again.
Wow.
That's another one that I just rewatched and I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's go to other news.
You're a stronger man than I, Gunga Din.
Well, hey, I've already spewed my bile for those.
Right.
I love The World's End. I know we have actually. This is the last time I think I saw you guys was we went to watch The World's End.
Yep.
And did you even discuss The World's End?
Last week we
mentioned it
discussed
last
it for a little
week.
bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Where's it? I mentioned it's my favorite actually of the trilogy.
It's one of the ones that grew on me, and if we can take a second to talk about it, I mean, it was actually the most personal of the lot.
Oh, very much, yeah.
Because I mean, I grew up in one of those small towns, that equivalent in Wales, and going back there, which I do every couple of years, see my family, and going and doing the pub crawls and walking into the pub and seeing that nothing has changed. It's just a different set of kids drinking in the corner. Yep. The soundtrack in particular.
Oh yeah.
The soundtrack was basically my life from 1989 to 1994, where I would go out drinking with my friends and partying, and all the songs that they put on that soundtrack, which I actually went and bought directly after watching the movie, it just took me so back. And I think that's why when we were first talking about the movie directly after watching it, I didn't know how to react to it. And just thinking about it since, it's an incredibly personal thing, and I think it's because also the first time Simon Pegg is a character who's eminently unlikable.
Yeah. Oh, completely. Yeah.
And we all have people in like that in our lives who haven't done the growing up, and honestly, that Simon Pegg character has always been my biggest fear of who I would turn into if I stayed in Wales in the small town. It's no disrespect to the town I came from, but it would be somebody who wanted to go off and do something else, but then just ended up drinking and just
being that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
I think we
seriously.
all know somebody. Yeah, like I said, we all know somebody like that.
Yes. What else have you seen recently? What else have you guys seen? In Pasadena we have a $2 cinema.
Really?
Oh, nice.
It's $2 for a matinee showing and $1 for a hot dog. So last Friday, me and the wife went to watch. We played hooky during the day, and we went and watched R.I.P.D.
Oh God!
And for $2,
yeah,
is it worth $2?
No, for $2, R.I.P.D. is only quite bad.
Got it. Wow.
For $2.
Wow.
Because it's that whole seriously, we literally spent. I think the soda cost the same price as both of our tickets.
Right.
And we just sort of watched it, and it was stupid and badly everything. But Ryan Reynolds, he has this easy charm.
See, I don't like Ryan Reynolds.
I do. I think I've liked him ever since Van Wilder and then Blade Trinity.
I'll give him the comedies.
Yeah, but in Blade Trinity, I thought that's him again. But yes, so yeah, I saw that, and it's a bad movie, but for $2 you can't go wrong. So has anybody watched? What's that one that just came out? The horror movie.
Oh, Insidious
2.
She
No,
tried to.
I tried to, but couldn't muster the will to go actually do it. It's been getting really bad reviews. I thought the first one had incredible visual scares, but it was a horrible movie. I thought Sinister was a much better movie, and The Conjuring, which just recently came out, I thought was a much better movie.
Right.
I enjoyed The Conjuring. I really did. It only had one really scary moment for me, and that was the bit where I think the guys in the kitchen at dark, and you see the maid. That maid appears.
Oh, really?
That was the only thing that kind of wigged me out. That was it for 3 seconds.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
You watched any films?
Well, I can't watch.
Well-
I can't watch anything that I talked about. Yeah, this weekend only because nobody will care. It's because I watched nothing but French films and Polish movies and a bunch of foreign stuff this past weekend. I watched like 12. I was like tweeting every time I watched a movie. So I think I
Yeah.
watched
Yeah.
like 12 movies this weekend.
It'll be like 6 a.m. and Santa's like, watch Scarface. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what happened this morning?
Yeah,
I did go nuts in Best Buy and in Target actually this week. I picked up original Total Recall on
Nice.
Blu-ray.
Nice.
How
$5.
much?
Really
Yeah, The Crow, $5.
nice.
And then one for just my generation, Say Anything, the 25th
yeah.
anniversary,
Sure.
$5. Terminator 2 is also $5 on Blu-ray right
Terminator
now.
2, I got on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So.
I did rewatch RoboCop last week before. Yeah, well, it's after seeing the trailer, the remake trailer.
Did you talk about the trailer last
We
week?
did talk about the
We
trailer.
did.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you say it
it's-
looks like RoboCop was shagged by Kit from Knight Rider and then gang molested by a bunch of Cylons, and that's what they squirted out?
Oh, so you
I
watched
think
the
Jeremy
show.
said that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looked horrible, so I had to go back and rewatch the original Total Recall, the original RoboCop, and it's a blast. I mean, it's such a great movie.
What connects RoboCop to The World's End? You will not get this.
What connects RoboCop to the world's end? I have no idea, and I'm not going to sit here and waste a lot of time. So what?
Okay, so in The World's End, when the Nick Frost character starts the barb roll,
Right?
track plays called 20 Seconds to Comply.
Nice.
And
209.
and basically the start of the original version of that song is Ed 209, and it's also it's got a bunch of other original RoboCop clips. It's like, you think you're pretty smart there, you think you can outrun a bullet,
Right.
so I actually went and downloaded
Nice.
that original version, which is
Super
a
cool.
great old school like rap fusion dancey type song.
Huh.
Mental, but
Interesting. I'll
yes.
check that one out.
Yes.
So yeah.
All right, so other news. Who wants to talk about the AMC plans Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't really want to talk about it.
They're having a spin-off. Walking Dead's getting a spin-off.
All right.
All right, next.
Yep.
Beyond the Brick.
Do we have any Lego?
Beyond the Brick. So Lego themselves are releasing. They do their own kind of op called Beyond the Brick, which is they have like a YouTube channel. They do all kinds of inside Lego pieces and stuff. But they're releasing Beyond the Brick, a Lego brickumentary, which they're
Do
going
you
to.
call something a brickumentary?
Brickumentary.
what
That's the
called,
official
Lego
title.
documentary. Yeah.
That's
You
just-
can't make that stuff up.
No.
No, but it's
Well, you can because they did, but anyway.
it's looking at just like the global scope of Lego and what Lego's done, because like I think the history of Lego is pretty fascinating. It comes like from Denmark, and Lego themselves do so much socially, economically around the world, and like they're part of like the UN Global Compact and stuff. Like Lego's a pretty interesting company, and for them to be like, we're gonna open our doors and tell you guys more about ourselves is really cool to me.
So you think so? I had Legos as a kid, huge box, but boxes of the stuff. I loved Legos as a kid.
And they were all just the plain ones. It was just the plain colors
Yeah.
and the green plate for grass. Then you built your own homes. There was no design to it. There was nothing to it. You had to use your imagination.
And that's the thing. I was watching an episode of The Simpsons recently, a repeat, and Lisa Simpson walks into a Lego-esque store and says, do you have a plain version of Lego, and not a Star Wars or a
Right.
Marvel or whatever, and the sales assistant looks blank, and then Lisa picks something up and says, well, I suppose I could take this and just build this into something else, and the sales assistant says, you do that and we'll sue you.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately, that's something
It's weird.
I'm
It's
going to mourn.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to mourn
The
the
loss of Lego.
loss of imagination, because I used to build huge, big castles, and I loved it when they brought the little Lego guys in,
Right.
but they were just blank templates.
Yeah.
We never constructed anything out of Lego using any kind of instruction
Oh, no,
or outline.
Yeah,
We
no,
just,
you
yeah.
bought a box of Legos and it would have the only thing that the only instructions Lego would have was the number of the different types of pieces. So you'd have 14, six cube blocks for this, that, the other thing, and then you just,
You basically had enough to make a handgun
yeah.
every
make
time.
gun,
That
yeah.
that was it.
I'd
But
say I used to make the temple from Temple of Doom actually with Kali and stuff like that, and the little circle pieces would be the stones.
well, and so this is the other thing that kind of
So
defeats.
I guess they kind of
But it defeats the purpose of Lego nowadays, because you'll see somebody building a Death Star,
Right.
and it'll take them 10 hours to build this Death Star from what the pre-designed.
right.
And then what are you going to do? You're not going to knock it all down and start
No.
all over
No,
again.
yeah.
And that was the beauty of Lego.
true.
Yeah.
Lock that shit down and build it into something else.
You're right.
Yeah.
Lego rant over.
All right.
All right. And are we talking about this trailer?
So we're still looking for, but we're looking forward to the brickumentary.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Zero Charisma. Quick trailer. Well, let's talk about this thing really quick. And we'll just play the trailer of it so you don't have to look at my mug. It was at South by Southwest or Fantastic Fest.
It was at South by Southwest.
South by Southwest last year. Zero Charisma. It's about a guy, older guy, heavyset guy, Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Master. Not much of a personality. In comes and it takes place in 1982, 83?
I don't actually know the time frame, to be honest.
In comes, actually, it's probably modern day.
I think it's modern day.
In comes the hip guy to their group, and of course he gets all bent out of shape.
He's funny, charismatic.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody who does not belong in a quote Dungeons and Dragons game. Most people would say for most of the time people want the.
They just want someone that's on their level.
On their level,
guess.
yeah.
So basically, nobody at this table.
Exactly. Yeah. And it got fantastic word out of South by Southwest. It took forever for somebody to pick it up. Blogs were always running little stories about it and stuff like that. The trailer is out now online, and it looks like it'll be a lot of fun. The lead looks like it gives a fantastic performance, so it's worth checking out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Book club.
Book club.
Yes. So while I was away, you guys just look at you with your fancy hardback.
This is Jeremy's.
Okay.
This is Elise's.
I don't.
I'm
own
in
anything.
paperback.
live
Lock
under a
and
bridge.
Key. Now, look, I have a confession to make. This only arrived yesterday via Amazon. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 all week.
There's nothing to be ashamed about in that.
Which I'm really
Marcus.
enjoying. I started reading this, but then I also made the mistake of ordering the Fable trade novels 2 through 10. So I put this down and started reading Fable. So I'm handing over to you to convince me why I should go back and read this, because it's actually taking. Hang on, I don't have that bit at the front.
You probably do.
Hang on.
Just turn it.
Oh yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
But, okay, it shows how much attention I pay.
Yeah.
So anyway, Elise, John, convince me why I should finish reading this.
Start off.
Oh, geez. Well, first of all, it's going to be finished in a month or two. They're actually wrapping up the series. 6 volumes total. It's going to be structured like a 3-act story. The first, 2 volumes per act.
Right.
Are you a Stephen King fan, Marcus?
I like Stephen King until he gets to the 3rd act. I don't think that guy could close a door properly.
Okay. Well, Joe Hill, who wrote Lock and Key, is Stephen King's son.
Okay.
So, and you definitely
and it's a very
like
Stephen King-esque story.
You notice, yeah, like
Set in sort of like on the East Coast.
Instead of Maine,
Yeah.
we're going to Lovecraft. Is that the name of the town, Lovecraft, or is
Yeah.
that the manor?
It's the island, isn't it?
The island of
Yeah.
Lovecraft. Yeah.
the manor is Key House,
Yes.
which is, I mean, I guess it all fits so well together. The family's name is Locke,
Yeah.
and they live at Key House. But yeah, so the story begins pretty tragically with the family being on vacation. It's
And this is where we're going to go into spoiler alert, by the way. If you
Yeah.
haven't already read it, you may want to skip this section.
You want me to go into the plot?
do you want to go?
I'll go into the
Sure.
plot details. While on vacation, 2 teenagers that know the teenage son of the Locke family show up, brutally murder the father. The teenage son, of course, feels very guilty about this. His name is Ty. He has a younger brother named Bodhi, who's a little whipperscamper. And I apologize. What's the sister's name?
Her name is
Kate?
no. She has a pretty unique name.
Francis. Anyways, so
Steve.
the mom, and the mom is brutally beaten during this attack as well. The teenagers are caught, and one is killed, and the other one is sent to prison. Sam, I believe, is the one that's sent to prison, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So, of course, the family decides to move to an uncle back to the old family home, the Key House?
Key House is
Key House. Back on Lovecraft Island.
Lovecraft Island.
Okay.
Even I got that much out of it.
So, this was in between all my French films last week that I was reading this.
Do you need to do this in French?
Oui.
Do you need to
No.
smoke a jetin?
No, not at all. Anyways, it's the house itself has special powers. In some flashbacks, the father had talked about how his son will inherit the house and the powers of the house, et cetera, et cetera. Apparently, as you get older, adults forget that the house has power, but kids do not. kids remember that.
They do remember, and they can access it, but the power is all derived from
keys that they discover. And so each key opens a door, and that will open a doorway to a different place in time. The first person to discover this is the little whippersnapper Bodhi, who gets my favorite piece of artwork in the comic when he walks through a door and his spirit leaves his body so he can float around. And so, of course, Bodhi's body just collapses to the ground, and he thinks his spirit's like, oh, no, I'm dead. Well, this is kind of cool when he's floating around seeing stuff, then realizes he can come back into his body. Yeah. Nobody, of course, believes him because, he's a little kid and this, that, and the other thing. This first episode, this first trade ends with a cliffhanger plot-wise, but has a really nice emotional resolution. When it starts off, before the attack happens, we see that Ty is the regular disgruntled 16-year-old. He's really upset with his dad. He's looking in the water and kind of picturing himself as these different types of people. If he could have gone to San Francisco, this is what his life would have been like. Mm-hmm. If he could have gone to Mexico, this is what his life would have been like. But now he's stuck and he's upset. And then, of course, he blames himself for the death of his father. And he's really struggling with this emotionally throughout this first trade until the resolution where the family kind of finally comes back together again. And there's this really nice visual metaphor that takes place of Ty at the beginning is looking down in the lake and seeing himself as all of these different things. And then one of the last frames, images of the book, is him looking down into the water with his family, and it's all of them united. And it's this really kind of emotionally touching moment. Well written, well structured. It keeps moving. I really dug it. I thought, I don't think there's anything groundbreakingly crazy original about the story, but I think it's well told and it's kind of a classic. There's something very classic about it.
Mysterious house with what secrets can we unlock here?
And one bad guy story is kind of completed. One arc is sort of completed, even though you see whispers of what may come of that character in the future. And the new bad guy is introduced at the end of this one, which is a shame because it turned from a woman in a well into a weird looking emo dude. I don't know what that was about. But Hill definitely has his father's storytelling techniques down.
Or his mother's.
Or his mother's. You're right. Very good point. Very good point. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm more than happy actually. And the nice thing about this is because it's an encapsulated story, because it's done after 6 volumes. I like the idea of saying, okay, I can just read all. I have no problem getting into these, reading them, thinking, not worried about how many years am I going to have to invest in this to see if there's going to be any payoff.
Yeah.
That was long.
It was very long, very concise, though. I just think like the dynamic of this family trying to regroup after this like horrific tragedy that's happened to them, but then they're faced with what is their father's past?
Right.
Because you delve into that into the later books, like it all comes together, and like the art is pretty unique as well. I don't know, like, are there any other artists you guys can think of that kind of have this? The art's from Gabriel Rodriguez.
Off the top of my head, no. But the faces are very
faces are
specific.
really unique.
Yeah, considering there's very little. I mean, considering it deals a lot with contour and shading versus actual definition.
Yeah, and the title of this volume is Lock and Key: Welcome to Lovecraft. But you didn't see any kind of Lovecraftian.
There's no Lovecraftian-esque thing to this, which was kind of a bummer for me because I was really expecting the monsters and the other dimensions and the stuff to start popping out, but that doesn't happen. So it could just be in name only. We'll have to wait for Del Toro to bring us a Lovecraft film.
Yeah.
Or I could go watch the silent version of In the Mountains of Madness. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. Never saw it. No. Anyway,
all right, so
you're not convinced. That's
yeah,
okay.
I'm not convinced.
Marcus?
I'm not convinced.
You're deep into Fables. I say.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah,
deep into
I would
Fables.
stay with Fables. I would give this a shot too, though, because
I probably will after I've gone through Fables. I've got to say, Fables for me is getting better and better with every trade.
Yeah.
I mean, once they've obviously got this huge world to mess around with, and the way I've just got past the mayoral elections.
Mm-hmm.
And just the sneaky backstabbery that goes into all that, literal and figurative. I mean, you guys converted me to Fables, and I don't think I have enough space in my heart right now for something else on top of that. But I have bought it. I'm going to put it to one side, and then maybe once they've finished and wrapped it up, I'll give this a crack, and then perhaps get the other two.
Fables is pretty epic, so I get why you're into that one.
Okay, so are we going to slap out something for next week for book club? Have we thought of anything?
Actually, no book club next week because next week we have a special part of the podcast.
the second half, I guess you guys are going to do the Breaking Bad.
We're gonna have a special Breaking Bad piece next week
Pre-show.
on the show.
Okay, so you possibly won't even see me next week because I've only seen 3 episodes of Breaking Bad.
No, we're gonna have the
No,
first
no,
half's
yeah.
gonna be a regular show.
Oh, okay.
and
So
the
you'll
second
see me
half's
for
gonna
half
be-
an episode.
yeah.
Sorry, the tables will turn when the Doctor Who 50th anniversary will come, and
That's
I
true.
will make sure that only Whovians sit here. Thank you very much. All right, so yes, catch up on Breaking Bad if you want to enjoy the second half of next week's show. I cannot watch 50 freaking episodes in a week. Sorry, guys.
No, no.
You say that now, but
Yeah,
I know.
really.
I started watching it on Netflix, and I really got into it. But then it also coincided with the time of year where I
Oh,
have
yeah.
to play a lot of video games.
Yeah. Right.
So, but
What a horrible life.
yes, but I think it's interesting. Breaking Bad, Grand Theft Auto 5. There's some similarities in there, but yet Breaking Bad is culturally relevant, groundbreaking television, and Grand Theft Auto 5 is an evil video
Yeah.
game.
Wow.
So, yeah, perspectives, people.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. You can follow us all on Twitter. Our Twitter handle should be popping up around here right
But-
now. I'm bouncing.
But there's
What?
something first.
You have something first?
Yeah.
You can take your clothes off?
Yes. No, actually, this week, let me introduce for our special Snowpiercer report. Here's Elise Williams,
thanks for having me, guys.
as always.
Great to be here. Well, we've been kind of delving into the science of Snowpiercer in the office.
And by we mean
Just general office.
How many
conversation.
people?
Santo and I usually just go into Santo's office and try to talk to him about Snowpiercer. But
yes.
if you could just hold that for me, Santo. Thanks. We've put together this graph, Santo and I, illustrating an increase in snow corresponds to a direct increase in piercing, as you can see, leading to the inevitable creation of trains. In real Snowpiercer news, there were 2 new French trailers released today.
Oh.
They're awesome, super badass. I completely suggest watching them. If you don't know where to find them, I watch them on Slash Film. Gets you super pumped and turned up. I'm so excited for this movie.
Do we have a release date yet?
No, it's coming out in France October 30th. So hopefully the Weinsteins will get on it and sometime release it soon. But these French trailers were the best. Have you any of you?
I haven't watched.
seen
I haven't
them?
had a chance to watch them. They were just released this morning.
But they're in French.
We.
They are, though. They do have dialogue in English in them,
Sacre
so there is that. But textually, they're in French. But
Un piercer de blanc.
anyway, they were excellent. I'm incredibly excited. I can tell you guys are excited. We're all pretty excited.
Stoked.
I'm raving on the inside. Tune in next week where we're actually going to start our own a new show, and it's called Snowpiercer Update. It's going to be a weekly one from GT, and it's going to be these two talking about Snowpiercer for 90 minutes while I drink in the background and cry myself to sleep.
I love it.
I really don't care much about Snowpiercer. I'm really ambivalent.
And there you have it.
Good night.
We out.
I love it.